Have you ever wondered how China, one of the world's oldest civilizations, came to be? Let's delve into the annals of history and trace the roots of the Middle Kingdom, a civilization that has stood the test of time. Our journey begins with the Qin Dynasty, said to have been established around 2170 years before Christ. Although the Qin is largely shrouded in myth and legend, it is often hailed as the cradle of Chinese civilization. It was during this era that bronze casting, pottery making, and other cultural practices began to take shape. Following the Qin, the Tang Dynasty emerged around 1600 BC, marking an era of advanced bronze work and the birth of Chinese writing. This early writing system, etched onto oracle bones and bronze vessels, would evolve into the complex characters we see today. The Tang Dynasty also established a feudal political system, which would be a mainstay of Chinese governance for centuries to come. Moving forward, we arrive at the Zhou Dynasty, which began in 1046 BC. This was a time of tremendous cultural and philosophical growth. The Zhou era saw the development of doctrines that would shape Chinese thought and society, such as Confucianism and Taoism. The Zhou Dynasty, with its emphasis on moral ethics and harmonious social order, is considered a classical age in Chinese history. These early dynasties, from the Qin to the Zhou, laid the groundwork for the Middle Kingdom. They developed the Chinese script, established political systems, and fostered philosophical thoughts that would influence the Chinese way of life for millennia. So, as we step back and gaze upon the vast expanse of Chinese history, we see a civilization that was forged in the crucible of time. From its early dynasties to its modern era, China's story is one of resilience, innovation, and enduring culture. Ancient China laid the foundation of a culture that would endure for thousands of years. And indeed, the ripples of that ancient culture can still be felt today, echoing through the ages and into our present day. But how did China evolve from scattered states into a unified empire? The answer lies in a tale of power, strategy, and visionary leadership. Let's journey back to the era of the Qin Dynasty, around 221 to 206 BC. This period was a watershed moment in China's history. The Qin Dynasty, under the reign of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, accomplished what was thought impossible: the unification of China. Qin Shi Huang, often known as China's first emperor, implemented sweeping reforms that standardized writing, law, currency, and even the width of cart tracks. These changes, though seen as draconian at the time, laid the groundwork for a united China. But China's story doesn't stop there. Following the fall of the Qin Dynasty, the Han Dynasty ascended to power in 202 BC and ruled until 220 AD. This era was a golden age of expansion and cultural development. The Han Dynasty expanded China's borders to include parts of modern-day Vietnam, North Korea, and Mongolia. But perhaps its most enduring legacy was the establishment of the Silk Road, a network of trade routes that facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures between East and West. It was along this Silk Road that Buddhism, a religion born in India, found its way into China and became an integral part of Chinese culture. The Han Dynasty nurtured an environment of intellectual curiosity, leading to advancements in science, technology, and the arts. Its reign is often equated to the classical age of Chinese civilization, akin to the Golden Age of Greece or the Renaissance in Europe. And so, from the unification under the Qin to the expansion during the Han Dynasty, this period in China's history was transformative. The establishment of the Silk Road and the spread of Buddhism were significant milestones in China's journey towards becoming a global power. This era marked the beginning of China's expansion, both in territory and influence. The seeds sown during this time continue to bear fruit, shaping the China we know today. So let's continue our journey into the next chapter of China's fascinating history. In the face of constant change and turmoil, how did China preserve its identity? That's the question we'll be exploring in this chapter of our historical journey. Our story takes us from the fall of the Han Dynasty in the year 220 to the end of the Qing Dynasty in 1912, a period of nearly 17 centuries marked by foreign invasions, internal rebellions, and sweeping social changes. Yet throughout this turbulent era, something extraordinary happened. The resilience of Chinese culture endured. Let's start with the fall of the Han Dynasty. This period was characterized by political instability, with power shifting hands frequently. It was a time of chaos, but also a time of cultural development. The philosophy of Confucianism was reinterpreted and transformed, setting the stage for an era of intellectual growth. Fast forward to the Mongol invasions of the 13th century, an epoch when China was under foreign rule. The Mongols brought with them their own customs and traditions, but also appreciated and assimilated elements of Chinese culture. The resilience of the Middle Kingdom was once again put to the test and passed with flying colors. The final centuries of this era, under the Qin Dynasty, saw China grappling with modernization and the impact of Western imperialism. However, the cultural identity of China remained undeterred. The Chinese continued to hold on to their language, their traditions, and their values. They adapted and evolved, but never lost sight of who they were. So how did China preserve its identity in the face of constant change and turmoil? The answer lies in the strength and resilience of its culture. A culture that has withstood foreign invasions, internal rebellions, and social changes. A culture that has been shaped by its past, but is always looking towards the future. Despite numerous challenges, China's cultural identity remains strong and undeterred. This resilience is a testament to the enduring spirit of the Chinese people. Their ability to adapt, evolve, and yet remain firmly rooted in their cultural heritage is a story that continues to inspire us all. How did China transition from a traditional empire to a modern nation? This question takes us back to the late 19th century, a time when Western imperialism had a profound impact on the country. The Western powers, with their advanced technology and military might, forced China to open its doors to trade. This event, known as the Century of Humiliation, marked a period of significant decline for the Chinese Empire and a loss of sovereignty. Following this, the dawn of the 20th century brought about the Republican era, a time of political upheaval and change. In 1912, the last imperial dynasty, the Qing, was overthrown, marking the end of over 2,000 years of imperial rule. The Republic of China was established, promising modernization and democracy. However, the Republic faced numerous challenges, from foreign invasion to internal strife. The country was fragmented, with warlords controlling different regions. This era, while marked by instability, was also a time of significant progress. It saw the rise of new ideologies, the spread of education, and the flourishing of culture and arts. This era of transformation led to the Chinese Civil War, a struggle between the nationalist Kuomintang and the Communist Party of China. After years of brutal conflict, in 1949, the Communist Party emerged victorious. The People's Republic of China was founded under the leadership of Mao Zedong, marking a significant shift in China's political, social, and economic landscape. The founding of the People's Republic of China was more than just a change of regime. It was a promise of a new China, a modern nation that was to break free from the chains of imperialism and feudalism. It was a vision of a country that would stand tall among the nations of the world. This period marked a significant transformation in China's history, setting the stage for its rise as a global power. From the ashes of the old empire, a new China was born, embarking on a journey that would see it become one of the world's leading nations. Now, as one of the world's superpowers, what role does China play today? In the last few decades, China has experienced an economic growth that has been nothing short of meteoric. From a largely agrarian society, it has transformed into a manufacturing powerhouse, boasting the second largest economy in the world. This economic might has been leveraged to make significant strides in global politics, with China increasingly asserting its influence on the world stage. Yet, with increased power comes increased scrutiny. China's human rights record has been a source of international concern, with issues ranging from restrictions on free speech to the treatment of ethnic minorities. The world is watching, and the question of how China will navigate these challenges remains. Similarly, environmental concerns have been thrust into the spotlight. As one of the world's largest carbon emitters, China is under pressure to balance its industrial growth with sustainable practices. It has made some strides, investing heavily in renewable energy and setting ambitious carbon neutrality goals. Yet the tension between economic development and environmental preservation continues to present a complex challenge. But it's not all about challenges. China's rich cultural heritage, its technological innovations, and its increasing openness to international collaborations are all shaping the global landscape. From the Belt and Road Initiative, which is redefining global trade routes, to its advances in artificial intelligence and space exploration, China's impact is far-reaching and profound. China's role in the world today is multifaceted and complex, a blend of economic prowess, political influence, cultural richness, and ongoing challenges. It's a nation that's continuously evolving, shaping and being shaped by the world around it. As we move forward, the world watches closely as China continues to shape its future and that of the global community.